Discover chicken cutlets in a whole new way with just one ingredient. This simple dish will turn into a refined combination. Take chicken breast meat and slice it, but make sure not to cut all the way through. Then, tenderize it with a meat mallet. Season the tenderized meat with salt, garlic, and pepper. Now, here comes the unexpected ingredient: cheese, specifically camembert. It's perfect for meat dishes as it adds an intense, creamy flavor and a unique texture. Place pieces of cheese into the meat and sprinkle with thyme. Prepare 2 bowls. In one, crack eggs and beat them. In the other, mix breadcrumbs with sesame seeds. This will be the perfect coating. Dip the chicken breast into the egg, then coat it in the breadcrumb mixture. Heat a pan and place the meat with cheese inside. Fry on medium heat until evenly browned. Remove from the pan. Serve the meat while it's still warm. The cheese inside becomes stretchy and velvety when heated, perfectly complementing the meat and creating a creamy layer. That's why the dish tastes best when served warm. It's a satisfying and easy-to-make dish. Delicious chicken fillets in soy sauce. My family asks for them every day, and everyone who tries them asks for more. You need 4 chicken fillets. Cut them diagonally, all the same way, only on one side. Cut 2 red onions in half and chop them. Slice 2 larger tomatoes. Pour 2 tablespoons of olive oil and half a cup of soy sauce into a large dish. Add a pinch of salt, a bit of pepper, oregano, and basil to taste. Remember that soy sauce is already salty, so you don't need too much salt. Add a tablespoon of brown sugar and squeeze 2 cloves of garlic through a press. You can add more garlic if you like. Marinate the chicken breasts in the mixture. Soak them on each side. Wrap in foil and let it sit for half an hour. Sprinkle onions on the bottom of a baking dish. Arrange tomato slices on top. Place the chicken fillets on them. Arrange them side by side. Pour the remaining marinade over them. Put it in a preheated oven at 180 degrees for 30 minutes. After this time, take it out and sprinkle the top with grated yellow cheese. Put it back in the oven, bake until the cheese melts and browns. You can serve the finished dish to guests. It looks amazing and tastes excellent. You can place a single fillet on a plate and savor its original taste. Everyone is surprised by this simple dish and asks for the recipe. Pour tomato sauce over instant noodle pasta. In this recipe, you will use it in an entirely new way. Start by placing 2 blocks of instant noodles into a dish. Add approximately 200 milliliters of tomato sauce or passata over them. Next, you will need about 120 grams of ham. Choose your preferred type. Cut it into small pieces and spread them over the noodles. Lay 8 slices of yellow cheese on top. Cover everything with 2 more blocks of instant noodles. Pour 400 milliliters of broth over the dish to let everything soak. In a separate bowl, mix 130 grams of 18% cream with 200 milliliters of tomato sauce. Combine thoroughly and pour the mixture over the noodles. Take 200 grams of grated mozzarella and sprinkle it on top to create a gooey, cheesy layer for the casserole. Place the dish in an oven preheated to 160 degrees Celsius and bake for 35 to 40 minutes until the cheese turns golden and bubbly. Your instant noodle casserole is ready. This cheesy bake with a hint of tomato not only tastes delicious, but also looks fantastic on the table. It is a quick and budget-friendly option for lunch or dinner. Najczęstsze błędy popełniane podczas gotowania kotletów mielonych, które psują jego smak. Pokażę Ci, jak ich unikać i zrobić pyszne kotlety mielone. Nie używaj gotowego mięsa mielonego. Zmiel w maszynce mięso z karkówki lub łopatki. Z takich mięs mielone wychodzą najsmaczniejsze. Idealnie soczyste, nigdy nie suche. Sekretną proporcją kucharzy jest dodanie mięsa wołowego i wieprzowego pół na pół. Nie mocz bułki w wodzie. O wiele lepiej sprawdzi się do tego mleko. Neutralizuje ono zapachy podczas smażenia. Do masy na kotlety nie dodawaj surowej cebuli, jest zbyt aromatyczna i twarda. Użyj wcześniej podsmażonej cebuli. Nie używaj także bułki tartej. Kotlety będą przez to twarde. Ważne, żeby masę na kotlety dość porządnie wyrobić. Będą bardziej zwarte podczas smażenia ich na patelni. Pamiętaj, aby namoczoną bułkę w mleku dobrze wycisnąć przed dodaniem do mięsa. Gdy mleka jest za dużo, możesz mieć problem z uformowaniem kotletów. Pamiętaj o dodaniu czosnku, wzbogaci smak kotletów. Jest on sekretnym składnikiem, który podbija smak mielonych. Odpowiednia ilość oleju na patelni jest kluczowa. Jeśli będzie go zbyt mało, kotlety będą się przypalać. Ilość samych kotletów na patelni również jest istotna. Zbyt dużo kotletów mielonych na patelni powoduje wytrącanie się wody. Fry a chicken in water, and you won't fry it any other way ever. The trick with water will make it crispy and juicy. It's hard to believe, but if you put chicken directly into oil, it often turns dry and rubbery. And on top of that, while frying, you have everything around the pot or pan splashed with grease. There's a better way to fry it. Use some water, and you won't have any more mess. You will see how it makes the crispiest chicken ever, thanks to a bit of water. Yes, just plain water. Get 1 kilo of chicken wings. Cut off the tips. We will use the wings drumsticks only. Prepare your favorite seasonings for the chicken that you like, such as salt, bell pepper, paprika, turmeric, or curry. Add them to the chicken and mix. Sprinkle the lime over the meat with the spices. In another bowl, scoop 1 cup of corn flour. Add half a cup of plain flour to it. Put a pinch of salt, and mix the ingredients. Set the bowl and a dish of water by the pan. Take a piece of chicken, coat it in flour, thoroughly the whole piece, then dip it briefly in the water. Wait until it drips and put it right into the heated oil. Let's do it again. I will show you this with another piece. It must be thoroughly coated in flour, then dip it very briefly in water. And when it no longer drips water, put it on the heated fat. You will be surprised. The fat will not splash if you do it correctly. See, I hold my hand over the pan and nothing splashes. After a while, the chicken is fried. It looks extremely appetizing, tasty. It is extremely crispy and very juicy. Try this recipe the next time you want to fry chicken drumsticks or wings. You certainly won't regret it.
This is the best pork chop recipe I have ever tried. It's aromatic and juicy. Cut the meat into pieces, but don't cut all the way through, creating a harmonica-like shape. Transfer it to a baking dish. In a bowl, add a teaspoon of salt, a teaspoon of black pepper, and herbes de Provence. Mix thoroughly and sprinkle this spice mixture over the meat, making sure to cover every centimeter of the pork chop. Peel 2 onions and cut them in half, then slice them into strips. Take a piece of bacon and slice it into pieces of similar thickness. Layer each piece of pork chop with onion strips, placing 2 pieces in each cut. Add the bacon as well, pressing them deep into the cuts to prevent them from fouling out during baking. Prepare up 200 grams of vegetable oil. Add a teaspoon of salt, marjoram, and sweet paprika. Mix everything thoroughly. Apply this marinade using a silicone brush, spreading it evenly over the entire pork chop. The final step is sauerkraut. It's very healthy and prepared this way. It's delicious. Place it around the roast in the baking dish, filling any empty spaces. Bake for 50 minutes in an oven, preheated to 392 degrees Fahrenheit. After this time, your meal for the whole family will be ready for an hour. The sauerkraut will be well seasoned. Pork chops are often dry, but this recipe ensures they are always flavorful and juicy. It's a perfect idea for a family dinner or a larger gathering. The meat literally melts in your mouth,